they have been into the stuff. So what I mentioned as why I chose this particular subject. The subject is Araham hessami is the motto of the service of the Buddha. And when the request came for me to speak on the 5 precepts, I linked it with Araham hessami, I will attain Arahanthood, and that is because the importance of the Pancasila in this whole process of the path. And also I mentioned, I'm sorry, I mentioned that the importance of a motto in an organization, and that motto, it gives the value systems of the organization. It also the culture of the organization. So schools have a motto, every organization has a motto. And the motto of this organization is Arahanthood, which earlier was translated as may I attain Arahanthood, but according to Pancasila who consulted, he mentioned it's best to say I will attain Arahanthood. And that also you can say emphatically, that it is all within I will attain. That's people can say that is I will attain Arahanthood someday, sometime. But the more important thing is to emphatically planning or emphatically resolve oneself. In this life itself, I am trying to attain Arahant, and that's important. So so these are what I mentioned. What is Arahant? It's something that we have to understand at the beginning itself. In a way, attaining Arahanthood is working towards one's own or annihilation or extinction. Now, nobody likes the human who make all this effort, and then finally the goal of Arahanthood that there is no, that you are reaching a state where you will not be born again. So that could be the reason why recently I saw on a documentary on the BBC. They were saying that Jesus was Buddhist, but that was what was in BBC was for 40-minute program. And I was thinking to myself that, when people want make an effort and find an extinction, it may not be, people may not like it. So you want to make it popular. You go to heaven, and heaven is something that will be always, is a permanent state of permanent heaven, or unfortunately, feeling as heaven is permanent, heaven is also permanent. So that in your next birth, either you go to heaven or hell. So that would be the development later on. This Christianity is 500 years after Buddhism. And the interpretation of Christianity was even on the Gospels. So it was very much later, it's about 200 or 300 years later. And there are so many words is even in that. So the one thing is that it's the extinction that we are speaking about. It's really, we are getting rid of the setup, the changing environment. The whole Dhamma, the Dhamma is based on Pancasila, as you know, cause and effect. And if the causes are not there for evil, there is no evil. That's what it is. You reach a particular state where, the causes are not there. The causes, as the Buddha has mentioned, is our craving, and also that's Amatanha. Then we have craving for existence, Bhavatanha, and we have also craving for Vimohatanha. That means, sometimes, these days there are people who are committing suicide. The thing is, we don't want this, we want not existence, when things are not happening. We also think, oh, it's one way. When what we want, we get what we want to accept. On the other hand, if we don't get what we want, we think, annihilation not existing. So this is something the Buddha mentioned as karma, but and the reason and the causes are, if you get rid of the cause, you see that there is no lower, there is no dose and more ignorance, and then it means that the circumstances of the environment is not there for your ego. So these very logical way. So what is the Buddhism in Dhamma? What the Buddha wanted us to do is to understand the true nature of things. Arahanthood is nothing but understanding the true nature of things. And the true nature of things is understanding the impermanent anicca and also the dukkha and anatta. So that means the anicca, the impermanence, and then the unsatisfactoriness, and also the soul of the self, what is called I, my, and my. Why we continue in sanskrit is because nothing, in all our samsaric life, we have this concept of an I, we, and I. So that's the crux of the soul. Why we continue is because of that. And then the important thing is, so I will be an Arahant. It's very necessary that we understand the true nature of nature, the impermanence of things, and also the unsatisfactoriness of things, and finally, that there is nothing called I and me and mine. And that's the most difficult thing for us because the whole world, everything that we do in this world, in this mundane world, is based on this concept, I and me and mine. So this is something that we have. But then, what is the path? If you want Arahanthood, then there's no path to Arahanthood. The path is there. And as you know, the path of Arahanthood is the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path. And like we have mentioned, these are things that are known to everyone.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that
make sure your speaker is properly connected.
Many people now say, take this whole now, we have 8 billion people in this world, 8 billion. And only 500 billion or nearly 536 okay, 600 billion say, have heard of it.
Switch it off and then go back in
I
again.
started from the beginning.
Leaving meeting. Did you leave the meeting?
But the point is, there's so many
I was going
people take the 5 billion out, 500 billion out, then there's more than 7.5 billion who have not come to the path. So the most important thing is to come to arrive at the path. And we see that even till the time the Buddha is happening. Buddha, there are people, the Brahmin, who came with many questions, all the people, the sutras are there. And they ask questions to the Buddha, and the Buddha replies, or asks all the questions, and not only finally, the person says, I understood. And these are the words, the acceptance, and that you normally see in the sutras. Just read that, it's very interesting. Gautama, if the teacher is most excellent of Gautama is thy teacher, most excellent. Just as a man set upright what is overturned, reveal what is concealed, point out the way to one born astray, bring a lamp to the darkness so that those with eyes and see objects. Even so, the Dhamma has been declared in a manner by the Venerable Gautama. I take refuge in the Venerable Gautama, the Buddha, in the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And say the last sentence is, may the Venerable Gautama accept me as a disciple who has taken refuge from this day forth while this life lasts. So that means, they listen to the Dhamma, the disclosure, and they accept the Dhamma and say, yes, from here onwards, please take me as one of your people who are disciples of the Buddha. Now that is extremely important. Now sometimes, so that's a person who has set the wrong way. So each one wants happiness, everyone wants happiness. They take different paths. There are different observances in order to attain. And during the time of the Buddha, there were the six other they call heretical, but there is the teachers, other teachers were there. So they are also, the finding of the home is to get them to a
Why is my
place
speaker not
of
recording?
happiness, to
It is very
liberate
done it.
Oh, it's-
the essence of this life. the life.
yeah, just check the
So
borders.
the important thing here is that here, that's when one understands that the view that I have
You have to go behind the thing and see.
Well, it seems to
But
be,
each
when you're
time
speaking, it seems to be working. Use separate audio device to pre-arrange transmission. So we're using
So the
Siri.
first is that you have the wrong views.
Going to the Intel display audio.
Get rid of this. I know more.
But then they have
And I
done
need
it.
to get rid of this.
It's okay.
Okay with it.
That's samadhi, the view of the ditti, the view, the teaching that will take me to final solace or liberation. So it's
Can you bet
important
it?
thing.
Yeah, I think
Say
it's
That's right.
I think so. I
I
think it is, yeah. I don't think.
Eightfold path. It is
Why is it
really
not fully engaged?
a ditti at a different level and says that
What happens if you
your
upgrade?
wisdom has arise or something you
Oh,
have
no, the whole thing's gone off.
knowledge of something, a new view of something. And that samadhi is because it's the view, it's something that you can take a person right to the end, to the
You
Nibbana.
go on, no? In the
So a
screen.
lot
Yeah.
will have.
If
So
you took
certain
that thing off,
changes.
no, now he's back.
So you have some
Well, the screen is not free.
change your
It's
views.
separate.
You have, that's, you must have heard that there are very many
Hello.
practices, earlier practices. And I don't do that again. So when a sotapan,
Let's go on to just see if it.
Why is it not going to the
stream,
Well, it's saying there's something wrong with
one
our
of the things that
failed to detect your speaker. Please make sure you're.
the different views that we have, the different practices, Sila, Aramas, the Muslim Sila, and those things are the given up. And then you have intentions are. You have intentions, the thing is, some not only take the 3%. Certain people say, yes, I want to be a bhikkhu or a bhikkhu. And even enter the bhikkhu or the sangha and become a monk or ordain themselves and to form the path in death or something in energy. So the thing is, it's important that nekam, call it nekam sankha, It's something that you give up certain things and come to a new point of view. And you can even come, you give up the intentions of giving up. Your, even your views have to be given up. The next time is important. And along with that, we have Yapa, and Avins those intentions are. So those intentions, these are the normal, what we say is the base, the background, the environment that you are creating for yourself. You don't want to have any views or any of thoughts of ill will towards anyone. So that's really important. Ill will towards others. And also we should become harmless. Ahimsa. That during that particular time, in the Buddha's time, there are so many sacrifices. And I think you change your ways, you change your thoughts, your intention are different. So along with that, so the important thing is that you have to arrive at the path. And I see the Sammadhi and Sammasankappa as the basic to arrive at the path. And when you arrive at the path, then what happens? You arrive at the path, and then there is the see the path comes in the trajectory, we call the trajectory to attaining Nirvana. And it's a threefold trajectory. It's called Sila, Samadhi, and Bhakti. So there is virtue comes first, and then the second is concentration, and for developing the mind, chitta, and ultimately you get your wisdom. And the wisdom is Samma Mukti and Samaya. So some of the sutras mention the liberation that you get, the final liberation that you get is Samma Vimukti, the right liberation. The Vichara Mukti, that is when if you people think that once you go to heaven, it's permanent, but the Buddha saw that it's not that. Upon the Dhamma, how we do it. Good Dhamma, you can be born in the heavens, you can be born, and finally when that is over, Dhamma period is over, you can be reborn again. Human birth or any other. So the thing is, that's a Vichara Vimukti. But the Samma Vimukti that the Buddha mentioned, that once you reach that state of understanding the true nature of things, there is nothing that you don't come back. So Samma Vimukti, along with that Samma Jnana, that means Samma Jnana, also the correct wisdom comes of the true nature of it. So it's interesting to know that the beginning of this threefold trajectory to it is Sila. And Sila comes when you have reached the state, you have to arrive at the path. And when you arrive at the path, it's important that you have Samadhi and Sammasankappa. It's extremely important for us to arrive at the path. If you can't go on this path with wrong views, you can't go on this path with wrong thoughts, intentions. So your intentions have to be clear, and your thoughts have to be, and also your will has to be correct. And then you arrive at the path, and then you go on to trajectory of Sila, Samadhi, and Bhakti. So Sila always comes first, and the Sila is virtue. So if you take particularly interesting, all of you know that the whole path of purification, that's a Visuddhi Marga. There are one person came and asked the Buddha about how to get disentangle the tangle. So the tangle that we have, one of us is the tangle. The answer was, Sile Patitta Naro Sapandu, Chitta Panyanchapa, Artha Nipapopan. And he says, Vijayeka. So that means, the person who has the important thing is Sile Patitta. And I want to stress that is you have to establish yourself in Sila. It's important that you establish your Sila if you want to go on this path. Without establishing yourself in the Sila, the virtue, is very difficult because it becomes as a hindrance. So if you just think of that, so if you do alone, it comes to your mind, even when you sit for meditation, when you do your samadhi meditation. And the thing, if you have done wrong things, it comes to your mind. It disturbs you, it agitates you. So, but on the other hand, if your actions and if your speech is perfect, in the sense it's spotless, that kind of agitation is behind. They are not afraid of that particular hindrance. As you know, it's practical which the hindrances. You have remorse, you are worrying, loving and mourning, or the remorse that you can just imagine during this period in Sri Lankan history when you read the papers. The people who have done wrong, how much are they repenting? Is there a possibility for that? So the thing is, there is so much the important thing in this whole trajectory of three-fold trajectory to Arahanthood is Sila in the base, Sila Patitai. And so the translation Sila Patitai now is a wise person who is well established in Sila in virtue. Then what happens? Chittam Panyam Chabhava. That means from that, you develop your chitta, that's your samadhi, and your mind. So, and with that, such a people are happy with energy and also nipah. Nipah is a very interesting word, nipah. So nipah is your recitation, your discreet, your knowledge more. And with that, one attempt says Araham to get rid of this tangle. So that's something that we have to remember. That in the Buddha Dhamma, the Sila is extremely important. Like it's not possible. The thing is, but these three Silas are not interconnected. The thing is, when you say you take the 5 precepts, they are all taken the precepts. The first precept I take on myself the sila of abstaining myself. I believe that because it's very important. I take on myself the precept of not killing. So it's just saying that I'm not taking panati veramani. Veramani I'm not taking. Veramani I abstain myself. Panati of taking life of living beings. So there I just abstain myself so at one level you can say just not killing people is not really the ultimate of observing the 5%. The 5%. It's only the rules, the first aspect, not taking, not given. I will conduct myself, by harmony in charge of misconduct, sexual abuse, and then I will not, there are all sorts. I will not take intoxicating substances. I abstain from, but abstaining itself will not take you on the path. Abstaining is important because when you are, it's pure, you know that you have abstained from it. But then there are other aspects also you have to develop along with that, upon the sutras and discourse. The important aspect that I want to mention is that the 5 precepts they are not commandments. The 5 precepts are taken voluntarily by oneself. I take on myself, the word is that these are not commandments. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from the taking of lives, the other 5 precepts. But they always Panatipata, Veramani, Sikha. Veramani is the word, abstain. I Veramani. I abstain from this. But abstaining, these are, I take on myself. It is not that it's something that command from somewhere else. It's a voluntary thing. It's a voluntary thing, and you take it voluntarily, and you observe yourself as no one to say, unless yourself, your mind is that will tell you, your mind, that will tell you you are doing the right thing or wrong. I just like to mention this because sometimes, the people try to find excuses to do something. If those excuses are there, because you like something, it's because of your craving for that. If in observing the Five Precepts, give the benefit of the doubt to do the correct thing. Don't try to say if you take the person said sometimes, or vegetarianism and non-killing and all that kind of thing, and we try to say yes, the Buddha is the art, and there's more stories there. But the thing is, Araham is different from an ordinary person, you and I. Now, Araham, he have no clinging, there's no grasping, no grasp anything. So things there is nothing called, there is no pampering your taste. So that person is full. You take the thing is even now they post when they take their meal, they contemplate, they think about it. They have said, that I'm taking this food not to be strong or not to be this or that, but to help me to live this noble life, to help me in this noble life. That's the most important. Because, and we train ourselves, it goes now, we train ourselves that way, not to look at things. But the point is, if a question comes up, why is it I doing that? Why is it I take this? It's fine, you understand yourself that there is a desire within for me to take something. There is a desire for that particular case. There is a desire, and with that desire, I try to find excuses. So there is, as you go to this path, by saying the three phases, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, where the most and the Sila, Samma Vacha, Samma Kamma, Samma Ajiva, that's of the Noble Path, or the taking the Five Precepts, that's the first thing. And as you go along this path, then you get more refined. Your thinking get more refined. Since you observe things and the way you react differently, and finally you start responding to something. Because rather than reacting because of your anger or your expectations or something. So then as you go along this path, then it's something that each one of us has to think, has to observe as to why I am doing this. Am I doing that? If there's a craving, if there's a desire, if there's some ill, so that means that you are something overdeveloped in the areas of development. So one aspect, the five precepts, one is the Dhamma commandments. There's something taken by everyone, by voluntarily, and you are your master, and you check yourself as whether you are making order. And then also, important aspect is they are whatever it is, they are the for spiritual development, they are the basis. The base is that for spiritual development. Another important aspect that I like to mention is that the person who has entered the path, Sotapanna, there are four characteristics. Four. One is faith. confidence in the Buddha is cannot be challenged. You call it the saddha, the faith, or the confidence in Buddha is something that cannot be unwavering, achula saddha. And then the Dhamma, that this is the teaching from which I can benefit. And also the thirdly, actually, the saddha, actually saddha and just mismanagement the thought. So whatever it is, this aspect is extremely important that you have. Yes, the fourth aspect is the most important. Saddha and Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And the fourth is that you have to practice the sila in a manner that the Aryas, like we call Arahanthood sila. Arahanthood sila. So Arahanthood sila, I mean, in the commentaries they mention what Arahanthood sila is. You have to practice the 5 precepts in a manner that is liked by the others. No, they're not speaking of any other. They're speaking of the 5 precepts. So this means that even an Arahant, the 5 precepts are there. They are observed spotless manner. And there are, like just mentioned, the monopoles, there are 8 aspects in order to make the study, your practicing of the 5 precepts to the level of light or lightened by the Arahants, the noble. So there, one is, there should not be, akhandi. The word is akhandi, unbroken. So things like that, the first precept, I have observed the first precept, and I am breaking the 5th precept. And 5th precept, I am saying, yes, it's only today I will break it. There's a wedding, I is only for this day I will break it. That type of thing we cannot do. Akhandi, the thing is beyond the one, the spotless means that you observe that precept without any break, without unbroken. All the precepts are broken. Achinte, without any considerable, without any holes, loopholes. You have to say it, and that's you yourself have to get it in yourself. Am I doing this? The point is that your actions, your body, physical actions, and your speech, mental actions or mental thoughts are before. After mental thoughts, and then you have the physical and vocal actions follow. So how is your mental thought, the mind, how is the mind work? All what you think. Certain instances you may think that this particular person, I like to be nice, and certainly something happens to him. Now these thoughts come, these thoughts, but these are also a thought of thoughting of something else. A noble Vajiraramaye do not get such thoughts. So these are things that we have to develop our mind in such a way. Then they say asakale is spotless. So the important thing is we have to develop the 5% in this manner without any kind of breaking, without any breaking, without any form, without any in a spotless manner, and consistent every time. So that means today there is no change. Today something happens and I can break the precept today. It's only once. Because sometimes many people do that. When we get together after a long time and then we break the precept. So that thing is not what is required if you want really to be on the path. We have to train ourselves. The thing is, this is what happens in our day-to-day life. It happens that way. But thing is, then we have to train ourselves We have to be conscious of that and then try to observe the five precepts in a spotless manner if you want to be on the path. And also there are other aspects of the first four that I mentioned, that it's unbroken, it's faultless, it's spotless, and consistent. That's all Arahant. But the other, as we are aspirants, we are people who are aspiring to, we should have it's Buddhist, that's freeing ourselves. We should always think of freeing ourselves from the kilesas, from the defilements. Freeing ourselves from the defilements. What makes our continuation in life in samsara is because of defilements. So when we take the five precepts, when we follow the five precepts, spotless manner, we should always think of it, whether what I'm doing is freeing myself from lower, dosa, and lower. Because sometimes, we are dealing we have wrong views on certain ways. So that's what we do. And also, then another aspect is Vinyu Pasati. Vinyu, the wise person, always says it's your good, you are doing the correct thing. Prasad. So raise five vibes. So that's when you follow that in this manner. I'm now speaking of the Arahanthood Sila. So that with the 5% to be observed in a manner that is like or that is moved by the Aryas, by the noble ones. So that's the Sila. And the first four that I mentioned, blameless, spotless, about an Arahant, they don't. But in our case, we have reached that stage, and in that, we should have first ourselves, be always thinking of freeing ourselves from defilements. So that's about the important thing. What if we want to get liberation, Arahanthood, we have to free ourselves from the kilesas. And we should do something that's always praised by the wise people. The wise people, the people who know. And then the other important aspect I find is aparabhakti, that without, yes, sometimes, you have this, when you do good things, when you sometimes get some kind of pride, a man comes in, that is even when you follow, even a big people could have man, when you are the big one, then you could have. But the man that comes, when you are doing good things, and when you compare with another person who is not doing good things, I'm very mistake. So that means I also feel something that some ego also. So as I said, I, my, and mine. You can even develop this Pancasila in such a manner that if you develop along with that I that is there, that's not the way that you do it. You do it because it's good, it's correct. And as this will help me in getting rid of my defilements. And then when you internally you find out yourself why I did it, why I did that is something that we are going with. And finally it says samadhi, that's the most important thing. Samadhi sangatane, leading to samadhi. So then when you practice the five precepts, as you go, it's become finer and finer. Finer is, that the breaking of the precepts is that initially it says a gross thing of killing of human being. And then you have actually, the wording is such, you should have strength, you should, the Pancasila is not only that, but by abstaining, you are cultivate. The first aspect is that. The Vajiraramaye aspect is the first part. But the second is there, you have to develop. How to develop? So in the first precept, you don't care about that. But on the other hand, you have your loving kindness to everyone. So with the loving kindness, with metta to everyone, spreading everywhere, then your attitude changes. Your attitude changes. Earlier, that's what I'm mentioning, that sometimes what you felt that you can do, but a question mark comes to my mind, to a person's mind. Is this correct? Am I doing this right? Am I any kind of enmity, animosity, or any kind of liking, harm, anything to something? And then you change and you refine yourself more and more. And that leads to samadhi. That's again the seeder. After that comes samadhi. And here in that, in the last, I would like to mention the sutta that I think everyone should study more. It's called the Seka Patipada. The Patipada, what we have to follow by a person who is now on the path. The Seka, if you follow the 5 precepts, if you have true confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and if you have developed your 5 precepts to the level of Arahanthood, that there is no breaking up even in your thoughts, the precepts, then what happens is you are on the path, and there is very interesting sutta. The Buddha question is between the Buddha was there, the Buddha went as today, because in the Southern country, and there was a assembly hall, and in the assembly hall, they wanted the Buddha to come, literally to come, and then he started preaching, and after some time he told Ananda, that was Thero, and first two Mahana, Sakya Mahana. And he said, right, the Seka Patipada first is Sila Yoga. The first thing, if you want to be on this path, Sila. So that's important. The Sila, so again, the aspect that I want to mention, the basis is Sila. And beyond that, it says the Sila Patipada. There are other aspects that you have to develop. The Sila Patipada. Second is Sila Sampana. Is there Buddha? It's once you are in the Sila Sampana, that you are virtuous, then you have to control your senses. In their Dwara, in your senses, your external world, you contact the external world is through your senses. Like nose, tongue, arms, then your thoughts, everything, the 6 senses. So you have to control. You have to control. That's training. And that training is possible only when you do samadhi, the concentration, when a thought comes up immediately, or to get the amber light, say you are on the wrong path, you have to develop your mind. You develop the concentration, samadhi needs to be formed. So in the Dwara, that means you have to start training. A Seka is the person who is trained. So all of us are Sekas in that. We are training, but the Seka is used only after the person becomes a Sotapanna. But thing is, even before that, we can say that we are all on the path. We are all on the Arahanthood. We check that. That's why we are all here. That's why so many are listening to this talk. Because all of us believe in that we have final Arahanthood. Then we have to train to discipline our senses in the Dhamma. And then after that comes yes, Vajiraramaye, Vajiraramaye. And this is something that even all Buddhas have mentioned. Some of our in the second level. That means you have to be always, you have to control, you have to check, you have to moderate in what you do. Moderation in food. Moderation in food is mentioned when you are the path. If you are not moderated, you will take certain things and you know what happens to you. Single say, but Monday, that you can't. You find it difficult. Many of the problems in actually life is because we have taken the wrong food. Take wrong food with that. And the food, as you say, some way, food for your money, food for your thought, food for the mental thoughts, nutrients. And they are very, very important. And that's why we get sick. It's biochemical. So moderation in food is extremely important in the path. And the other important aspect is jagariya, that is, you have to, the slot and walk is 100, as you know. Slot and walk, in the winter, and without, we should be wakeful. We should be learning to be wakeful. Now, the thing is, in the time of the Buddha, say 1950s or 60s or in the rural areas, after 6 or 7, they go sleep, But now things have come, TV has come, many things have come. And you spend that time after sunset, you don't sleep even till 11, 12. But that hours, you don't spend on Dhamma. You can thank the Buddha. After that, you can spend your Dhamma, you can do your meditation and things. But then you have your various TV channels are there, you listen to that, and then you are tired and so on. The thing is the world has changed. But the thing is, people don't sleep till 10, 11 in the night. But what do we do with that? During that period, is it something fruitful? Is it something that will be that will help you in your samsaric life, or is it something that will help you in the gossip, the gossip that is there every day? All the time, when people, what happens and this thing that. So the thing, your time is wasted. Your time is wasted. So the important thing is here, when you're on the sacred in the path, you have to be aware and usefully use that time. Time to be used in a manner that is good for you. Read something beneficial. It's important rather than just looking at things and which are really changing. The media is creating so much of problems in this country, in the world, everywhere. So that's another aspect of it. And then another thing is there are the 7 aspects, 7 qualities, the good qualities that a person should develop in the sacred. So there are 7 qualities. And I would like to mention these 7 qualities because these are things that we should develop in our life. The first is, according to that, this is saddha. You must have saddha, confidence. If you don't have confidence, the Buddha, then you can't go ahead. You should develop confidence in the path, the saddha. And the second is want, is healing. It's a healing art. That means you should develop that shamefulness to do wrong. It's something internal. It's not something external. External path. You do not do so many things because you are ashamed to do it. But initially it may be that you are ashamed because of others, the society. The society might criticize you. What do you mean that way? And because of that you don't do, or you like to do. But as you develop, the shame comes within. That thought came to me, and I should be ashamed of myself for getting that thought. Now that type of feeling, initially maybe nirvana and uttappa is fear and shame, and things And they are called, as you know, in the Buddhism, it's called the Lokapala. That is the Dhamma that moves the world. If shame and fear to do wrong things are there, as Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit was mentioning recently, was saying that the conscience, that has, the people have that spiritual conscience. They have lost that. The people have lost that spiritual conscience. They don't mind, any person saying you're wrong, doesn't mind corruption and all those things. So these are things that if, but that's in the outside world. We can't take anyone. The Buddha also was not able to take in a plane everyone around here. They can't. Each one of us has to follow this path. And then whatever in the outside world, you should develop that healing and the temper, fear of next time, the karma will come, fear, and also shame. The shame within, that more came to me, and then correct this. And that's a part of it. Every moment that you are developed, if you are thoughtful, if you are mindful of your own, you can correct it. And then the fourth is Bahussuto, and that's what we are doing. The Bahussuto, you should know that, you should understand that, you should read it. And that's why all these sermons that we are giving, the service of the Buddha, every Saturday, talks, in order to give the people know more about it. So that's important. And you yourself have to read. There's so much to read. And reading the Dhamma, reading about the Dhamma, even modern things, you read and be aware of what's happening. It's so Bahussuto is the fourth character. Then Arahanthood, that's you have to have energy, energy to do that, the effort to do that. It's Samavaya, the Samavaya effort. It's extremely important. And that's also each person has to do. And Satima, we should be mindful, and also you're finding Panya, the Panya, the wisdom that's required. So these are the 7 qualities that each one has to do. If I repeat them, one is that you should have Saddha, you have confidence, you should have confidence in yourself and also confidence in Dhamma, confidence in Buddha, and confidence that with this path, with this, I'll be able to get the final good. And then you should have the shame, actually you got shame and fear to do the wrong. You should have internally, externally, yes. Because society, sometimes we don't do certain things in society because others do, and that's happened. That's also good. That's the first stage. So we don't do so many things because people will criticize you. As a parent, you can't do certain things. The children are there. Everything, there are duties and responsibilities of everything. And you have to live in such a way that as the children would say, look up to your parents. That's important. And so you don't do certain things because of it. But the thing is that you may do certain things, although outwardly you may not do, you may do it secretly. Now that's a second stage, where if you want to really be on the path, then that secretly you can't do things. You have only one nature. There is no 2 persons in one. There is only 1 person, and that person is on the path. And then in Bahussuto, read every day, read something. Knowledge is important. And then we have energy, Arahanthood, energy, and you have mindfulness and wisdom. So here, before I conclude, I just mentioned that the sutta, as a verse that I mentioned, the particular the sutta of the entangling, how to entangle. Sile Patipaya Namo Satanya, no, there is a funny bridge. Sile Paditai Naru Sapanyu Chittam Panya Chatra. Now get one. Atapi Nipako and Diku. Nipaka Suspan. So there are three parts, and then I saw in another body, when we were discussing this, but this panya is used in different countries. So the first one, panya is that usually your vice. You know, the thing is that is the correct thing. Samadhi, as I mentioned. So that is important. And then you get your panya wisdom. That's the finally more panya. Little panya is discrete. So the thing is, the words sometimes have different meanings. Contextually, but what is required is finally that each one has to develop oneself. And the basis, as I mentioned, is Siri. The Pancasila, the Pancasila. It's not easy, but the way that we have developed the Pancasila in such a way, Arahanthood, to be planned or to be liked by the Aryas, the global ones, and that I have mentioned. So this is the part, and this is something that we have to do, each one of us. And during, so finally, what I want every one of us, myself, yes, everyone, we are all sovereign. We are sovereign, but try to be an Arya sovereign, a noble sovereign. That's the message I can give for this year, during this particular 2024. Try as much as possible to become harmless, a noble with all those qualities that I have mentioned. That doesn't mean that you should keep yourself close from what's happening. You should know what's happening around. And wherever it's possible, you help them. You help outside, not only words. There's Karuna, Buddha's teaching is a compassionate teaching. Why did the Buddha preach for what 5 years? It's all compassion. We have said, yes, I have become Araham. I have become a 5-year life. Is no more. That's what the Father asked. The Father came and asked him, sir, you have attained Arahanthood. You have attained Samma Sambuddha. Now it's time for you to know. Yeah. So once you are developing yourself, and that's the important thing in this photo. I am willing to take out. You know all these external things to help others, but along with that, I think the forefathers and so Buddha wanted each one of us to develop within to attain Arahanthood. So that's the two aspects of it. With that, I would like to conclude, and makes me very happy, and that's it. There are questions, you can ask questions. The question is, I would answer if I'm capable of answering.
Interesting.
Yeah.